Let's get a fundamental check on the markets, and we're joined by Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking. Hi Mayuresh, good afternoon. Well, we've seen bouts of intraday selling coming about. There was selling in the broader markets. We saw some kind of sell-off also coming in for the PSU banking space owing to the developments in the bond market, where the bond prices have actually fallen to all-time low. What's your reading on the markets at current levels? We do know there could be volatility because of the expiry today, but from a longer term perspective, what kind of levels are you watching out for?
Afternoon, Navneet. Yes, I think the expiry factor is probably playing out on the markets, and that's the whole reason why you're seeing the volatility play out. As far as the longer duration of the market or the call on the markets is concerned, it's going to be the basic premise of the earnings recovery going to catch up over the next few quarters. So the second half is where the belief is that the earnings recovery will happen. If the earnings recovery does happen by the second half, the market's re-rating is for sure, because the private capex cycle should also turn by the end of this fiscal. Again, I think the global headwinds that one was largely trying to monitor or mirror, I think they're fallen in line with what the market expectations were, or better in some cases, like the Fed selections, and that has got clearly reflected in the market move, and the risk on equities continuing. You might have seen blip, as you rightly pointed out, in bond prices, but the non-interest income component for bankers is expected to be low even in Q4. So it's going to be a large story for the Indian equity markets in terms of earnings recovery. And if that earnings recovery happens in the second half, you might see the markets re-rate. Till that point of time, my own sense is that there might be a time-wise correction in the market. You might see consolidation. Unless something goes wrong globally, you might see a blip or a sharp correction in the markets. But even that will be quickly bought into because of the huge flows on the domestic side that we are witnessing at this point of time.
All right, that's the view coming in on the markets. But let's also get a technical check ahead of the expiry. Mohit, we've been discussing the discount since yesterday. We were looking at Nifty, Bank Nifty. Both of them were, trading at a discount. What's the picture currently? Is the Bank Nifty still trading at a discount?
Well, yeah, it is still trading at a discount, and we've seen quite a volatile time in that discount shrinkage and expansion again. So when we saw that cool off on the index, about half an hour back, the discount shrunk from 60 levels to perhaps 30 levels on the Bank Nifty, and now it's kind of re-expanded, around 45 levels. So there is still a big discount on the Bank Nifty. Even the Nifty is actually at 11 to 12 point discount, so which means that, by tomorrow, the spot and the futures will have to be around the same price. And if this means that there are a lot of short built up in the market, which seems like, then perhaps you can see a further short covering rally on the upside. So you could easily see the Nifty at 9400 levels, which is why I recommend a partial profit booking and not full, because of the discount still being present. So I think there could be further upside on this market. We could kind of hit 9400 also tomorrow, you never know. And on the Bank Nifty, correspondingly, you could see levels of perhaps 22,350 to 22,400 on the Bank Nifty as well. So there could be further steam in this rally tomorrow, because purely based on the short covering that we could see in the markets.
Right. In fact, that is one of the signs. We have been talking about it since yesterday, because both your Nifty, Bank Nifty were trading at a discount. This is a short covering bounce which you're witnessing in the market for the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. And in fact, on the side also, we've seen a lot of put writing coming about in the last 3 trading sessions, which clearly indicates that the traders are now trying to eat up that premium, and they are expecting, if you go by the options data, expiry as of now looks like in that level of about 93.15 to about 9400 on the upside. But let's see where it comes about in tomorrow's trading session. Mayuresh, I want to come to you. It's after a while that stocks like ITC and HUL are contributing to gains, which we are seeing on Nifty. The FMCG pack is up for the second straight session. We've also got the likes of Marico, which has been doing well. In fact, yesterday also Godrej Consumer saw a good amount of gains coming about. What's the view here? What kind of earnings do you expect from the FMCG space? Well, Mayuresh, just hold on. In fact, those are visuals we are getting from the Bombay Stock Exchange, which will be celebrating Sensex crossing that 30,000 mark. And well, they had to wait a lot for it, because Sensex crossed. In fact touched its record high levels first time since March 2015. So that's nearly 2 years. It was long pending for Bombay Stock Exchange. We will keep getting you those visuals from there. They're celebrating their main index crossing or rather touching the fresh lifetime high. That's the cake actually, which you can see, which has got a BSE symbol on it with 30,000 mark also written on it. Let me go back to Mayuresh. Mayuresh, view on the FMCG space?
So again, valuations are always been on the higher side, have been always on the higher side for the FMCG universe. Post Q3 and demonetization, we clearly saw an impact of volume degrowth, and that got reflected in the margin erosion that we had seen, because the realization growth in terms of input cost increases were not passed on to consumers. But largely with the remonetization exercise being over, my own sense is that Q4 optically will have a reasonable amount of volume growth, with certain companies taking price hikes because of the input cost pressures that they've witnessed. Margin stability should be seen on balance sheets from a Q4 perspective. And the entire thesis on why these FMCG stroke consumer staple stocks were moving in a higher trajectory, I think those triggers still remain. So the good monsoon that we witnessed last year, a very good Rabi harvest that we witnessed this year, along with the kind of recommendations from the Key Commission, still hold good in terms of the stocks moving higher in terms of volume trajectory. Secondly, in terms of the GST getting implemented, I think the unorganized pie, specifically in the rural areas, that gets probably catered to by the organized space for a larger universe apart from FMCG, which also includes white good appliances, so on and so forth. And the rural discretionary spends increasing as they move up the value chain are trigger points. So I'll be specific in this space because valuations probably are, as I said, on the higher side. But yes, I think this space does make sense in terms of consumer discretionary spending, and that space is going to see quantum jump in terms of demand coming back over the next few quarters, getting reflected in earnings.
All right, that's the view on the FMCG space, which continues to look attractive. In fact, we had some positive comments also coming in from Adi Godrej. Swati was chatting with him, where he mentioned that he expects GST rates for the FMCG sector to be lower than the current rates. And in fact, he also mentioned that he doesn't see much price increases in the FMCG sector in the next few years. In fact, the rural demand post demonetization, according to him, has come back. So we'll have to wait and watch out for the earnings, which were impacted in Q3 owing to a demonetization. But before talking about Maruti, let me just quickly get a technical check on ITC, which is your top gainer on the index. And Mohit, it's not every day that we get to see gains of 3.5% coming about on a stock like ITC. At current levels, lifetime highs, would you suggest to hold on to this stock?
Completely. It looks very good. It's got a very positive chart structure. It's trading at all-time highs, and now it's in new high territory. So the best way to trade this is to hold it with a stop around levels of 280, and you could see levels of maybe even 320 to 330 in the coming few months, maybe few quarters. So this looks really good in the charts. It's got a very positive trend, and you can continue holding it with a stop around levels of 280. If you're willing to give a little bit more room, then even 275 is a good stop loss to have on this.
All right, so that's the technical view coming in on IDC. Let's also speak about the auto space, which has been doing well since yesterday. Maruti will be declaring its Q4 numbers tomorrow, and just ahead of that, stock seems to be doing well. It's up about 1.2%, and it also touched its fresh 52-week high in today's session. Let's go across to Hiral and find out what kind of numbers is the street watching out. And Hiral, if I'm not mistaken, this is one auto company which may not be impacted from that ban of BS3 vehicles.
That's right. Overall, if you see in terms of a BS3 is concerned, Maruti is the least impacted because they've started manufacturing BS4 vehicles since 2010. So that's a positive working in favor of them. And overall, they will continue to grow stronger than the rest in the PV segment. That is what is expected, because currently as well, they're sitting on a market share of almost 52%. And if you see the second player, which is Hyundai, which has a market share in the range of almost 17 to 18%. So the difference between the first position and the second position is way too higher, so they are expected to be the leaders there. Apart from that, the quarter is expected to be pretty strong. However, margins are expected to be impacted in this quarter, and realizations are also expected to improve, on the back of which that's clearly reflecting in the kind of expectation that we have in terms of the revenue is concerned. Talking about the top line, that is expected to grow by 20% at 18,636 crores. Profits are expected to improve by 54% at 1,749 crores. And overall, if you go to see, the margins are expected to dip and come in at 12.8% versus a 15.4%. Overall, yes, we've seen consistent success in terms of as Ciaz is concerned, Brezza as well as Baleno, and the initial demand that we saw in terms of our Ignis was concerned. Overall, if you see in terms of our Brezza is concerned, they sold almost 1.1 lakh units in the first year from launch. And overall, if you go to see its higher commodity prices as well as the kind of discounts that they have been giving, that is the main reason why we are seeing an impact in terms of where margins are concerned. Secondly, we will see some bit of an impact in terms of where the commissioning of the Gujarat plant goes, that happened in the fourth quarter of FY17. So that's going to be one of the major reasons that might see an impact. And lastly, if you go to see, net realizations are expected to improve by almost 6% on a year-on-year basis, and on a sequential basis, realizations are expected to go up by around 3%. And this is mainly on the back of an improved product mix. And lastly, if you go to see, if you talk about FY18, there is a major expectation in terms of a revival in rural economies concerned, and that is what is expected to benefit Maruti the most in FY18. And lastly, we will be watching out for their product launch pipeline, especially in terms of where new Dzire is concerned, because that is expected to be launched in May 2017, and their launch pipeline as well as the kind of production volumes that they are expected to do from the newly commissioned Gujarat plant. And overall, yes, a pretty strong quarter that is expected, but it's only the margins that are expected to take a hit in this quarter.
All right, Hiral, thanks very much for getting us all those details. A lot of metrics to keep an eye on, but we will be watching out for the margins for the fourth quarter, which could see a bit of softening. But just focusing back on markets, if we could just pull up the intraday chart of Punjab National Bank, a sudden spurt has been seen in that stock, which is your top gainer on Bank Nifty, and also seeing gains of about 4%. Just that sharp surge has come in the last 15 to 20 minutes, I believe. PNB, Mohit, how is it looking?
Well, it's looking good in the charts. It was a buy call this morning and it's done really well in trade. This can extend higher now towards levels of perhaps 170, next to maybe even 172. So there is further upside on this.
All right, Mohit, you also had a buy call on Marico in the morning. Has it hit your target price?
Well, yeah, it's hit and surpassed the target price of 320. It's actually looking good on the charts and it's at 324. Again, like ITC trading at all-time highs, this now can extend higher towards levels of maybe 345 to 350 in the coming few weeks to months. So a good way to trade this would be to have a trailing stop loss around, below today's low of about 310. I know it's a little deep, but you got to give it that kind of volatility so that it can get higher towards levels of 345 to 350.
All right, strong gains coming in for Marico. Mayuresh, talking about the banking earnings, some surprises from Indian Bank and also IDFC Bank, which have posted good set of numbers. The asset quality for both the banks have actually improved. Indian Bank saw good amount of gain yesterday, some kind of cool-off seen today, but IDFC Bank reacting to its numbers today with gains of about 3.2%. Mayuresh, we've also got Axis Bank, which will be declaring the numbers today. Any expectations, and what have you made of the earnings so far from the banking space?
No, so Navneet, I think the larger private space has held on. There was a blip in terms of Yes Bank's asset quality, but again, I think the management is pretty robust in their outlook, saying that it should get reversed. So is the case with IndusInd Bank. So the larger private banks, including HDFC Bank, have given an extremely strong set of numbers as far as their advances growth is concerned, as far as their CASA outlook is concerned, and the general banking outlook in terms of the earnings trajectory. Yes, I think a few of the mid-cap banks did perform well as well. But I think the space to watch out for would again largely be the larger private sector banks, larger retail-oriented private sector banks, and I think the corporate-facing banks, including ICICI, Axis. I think the kind of watch lists that they have come out and the kind of provisioning that they've done on the watch list, in my opinion, I think the worst probably in terms of the stressed asset on the corporate book is largely over. The retail advances are going at a very steady pace. And coming to Axis's expectations, our own expectation is a 20% growth or advances on a year-on-year basis, which will basically lead to a 7 to 8% NII growth. The figure to be watched out is the slippages from the watch list. Our own sense is that the slippages should come close to that 4,500 odd figure. The watch list should be close to 3,500 and the non-watch list should be around 1,000 odd crores. So again, the restructured asset base, the kind of credit cost hit that the bank has taken over the past 3 quarters, I think that can continue in the fourth quarter as well. But over a period of time, I think it's the outlook in terms of lesser stressed on their corporate.
Mayuresh, just hold on to that thought. We will come back to you. But in the meantime, let's get the visuals from the Bombay Stock Exchange. We've been talking about that. They are celebrating their lifetime high, which has been touched by their marquee index, and that's we're talking about Sensex. In fact, BSE is your oldest stock exchange in Asia, which is celebrating their index Sensex, which has touched fresh record highs after 2 years, and I'm talking about since March 2015. I don't know if I can see Ashish Chauhan there, who would be very happy today. We'll keep getting you those visuals live from the Bombay Stock Exchange, where they're going to be cutting the cake and celebrating the lifetime highs being touched by Sensex, which is currently trading with gains of about 0.6%. Sensex, in fact, is trading above those levels of 30,000 for the third time ever, currently at levels of about 30,140. We'll definitely get a mood check from the Bombay Stock Exchange. What is the mood there? What's the sense people are getting in at a time when the index has touched the fresh record high there? We will be touching base with one of our colleagues later in some time. But in the meanwhile, you've got the markets which are actually pretty much holding about 93.52 right now on Nifty, gains of about 46 points. But important to highlight, your broader markets have actually recovered from day's low. BSE mid-cap index is just about trading in the flattish territory. You can see a lot of balloons there actually which are flying high. Those are the visuals. Once again, we're getting you from the Bombay Stock Exchange. There seems to be some technical glitch, but we will keep getting you those visuals from the Bombay Stock Exchange, and we will be congratulating Ashish Chauhan, who is the CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, on behalf of BTVI here. But meanwhile, good going for the market. 6 minutes for the market closing. Mohit, any trades at this hour?
Well, actually, a bunch of stocks that are doing well in trade today. So Apollo Hospital is one that's looking good on the charts. It's kind of bottomed out around the levels of 1150 to 1165 zones. So they've seen a nice up move. This can extend towards levels of 1260 to 1265 next. So one can buy this with a stop around levels of maybe 1205. Also, we spoke about M&M Marico, but Praj Industries from the broader market is also doing well in trade. Given a fresh breakout, we can see levels of 89 to 90 next, so it's a buy with a stop around levels of 84.50. Even NIIT Tech was one that was looking good on the charts, though we've cooled off from the day's high. This could extend again towards levels of perhaps 475, so it's a buy with a stop around levels of 450. But I prefer Praj and Apollo Hospital to NIIT Tech.
All right, Praj and Apollo Hospitals, both the stocks have seen good gains coming about, and in fact, there's been a follow-on buying in a couple of your stocks. CEAT, I believe, is trading at day's high currently with gains of nearly 5% coming about. Mayuresh, what's the view on the tire space? In fact, we've seen those bouts of buying coming back into this space. A lot of brokerage reports indicate that the tire companies cumulatively will be taking that price hike of between 15 to 16%. Do you have any favorites here?
Not sure about the 15% hike, but yes, looking at the cost increases that have happened, specifically rubber, synthetic rubber, yes, I think a 7-8% increase is something that they need to take to offset the increase in input costs. Secondly, I think in terms of the Chinese imports itself, again, I think there has been a positive trend post demonetization, and that is clearly reflected in terms of the volume growth in the replacement market. Third, I think in terms of the operating leverage itself, with volumes expected to pick up meaningfully, my own sense is that the radialization that effect is happening on tire companies, and tire companies are probably riding that wave. So again, stocks which I do like, stocks which I own in my fund, something like JK Tyre is something that I'll continue to remain very, very positive about. CEAT has done exceptionally well, so I think JK Tyre, CEAT is something that I'll remain positive about, but investors holding on to stocks like MRF should continue holding.
That's the view coming in on the tire space, but we cannot miss these visuals. You can see Ashish Chauhan in those visuals at the Bombay Stock Exchange. They will be soon cutting their cake for Sensex touching fresh record highs after 2 years. Last highs was actually seen on March 2015. It has been long pending for them. We've got our colleague Nivrita also there, who will be celebrating with the team of Bombay Stock Exchange, and she may just get the pie of that cake today to rejoice when the markets have touched the 52-week high. And those are the live visuals we're getting you from the Bombay Stock Exchange. There are balloons flying high in the colors of blue and white both. Well, the entire Management team of BSE seems to be there, who will be celebrating alongside their MD, CEO, who you can see. My colleague Nivrita is also there right now, who is chatting with Ashish Chauhan.
Yes, sir.
This is a very important milestone in the history of India's economy.
Sir, how do you feel just minutes to
No,
go?
it's exhilarating. It's 2-3 minutes. We are at least last 2:30 we were not clear whether it will close above 30,000 or not. Now it's closing, so I think.